Since my arrival here just over 4 years ago, I can say that 2024 has been one of the more productive years on many angles that when you look at it. When you look at what we've done internally with our recruiting drive and bringing many, many more officers into the organization, which has also resulted in taking the stress from the officers who are working and giving them more free time with their families and mental health, which has been significant. And also, we've also seen significant growth in many other aspects of policing, such as our crime reduction strategy and how that's really evolving every month to make us more focused and aggressive in tackling crime, both from hot zones to identification of the those criminals that we need to pay more attention to, and also partnership with our community, other community organizations to actually how we can serve the community better. So in 2024, we don't have the stats yet, but as we release them a little bit into the new year, I can say that we're going to see significant decrease in crime and criminal severity index. And also the recent survey was very positive to show that that we have trust and support from our citizens, which I really thank him for that. And also more important, we are seeing an increase in perception of safety with our citizens based on the last stat or the survey that we did, which is encouraging for us to see.
That's great. You guys released your targeted enforcement strategy, I believe just last week, highlighted different aspects such as warrants, open drug use, but also aspects such as positive community interactions. Have you seen any, how do you compare this year's strategy with other years, and what's so different about it? I guess the different trends that came off of that.
So in end of 2023, when we were planning for our 2024 policing plan, annual policing plan, we knew that we need to be in our downtown zone more. And the reason for that was because of the lack of resources and the pressures we had, we were forced to take bodies from some of the other critical units in this in the department that were serving the community, such as downtown policing, to put these resources on the front line to respond to 911. But again, as I mentioned, because of the aggressive recruiting and adding 26 bodies into the organization who are actually now moving forward, we are able to push some of these bodies back to those critical units to have more emphasis on the policing model and also be more visible. But in 2024, we knew that we still have to do something based on the surveys we had done and what the citizens had asked us to do. And our plan was to actually, even though we don't have a downtown full complement of downtown policing, we wanted to augment that with the projects that you just talked about, to bring people from different units together to aggressively target crime and criminals in a downtown zone. And in addition to that, also have that positive interaction with our business owners and citizens to make sure we have that visibility with them. So it's worked out very well, even though we didn't have a full dedicated unit. We had only 2 or 3 people on that unit, but we augmented that with those projects. So for 2025, we are looking at bringing our downtown policing unit to 7 officers, and we just went through the process to identify those officers, and with the leadership of Sergeant Dara, I know they're going to have a significant impact and visibility downtown. And we also look at other initiatives, same blitzes or projects in the downtown zone to continue looking at trends that are going on and how we can actually combat them through enforcement, visibility, education, whatever it takes to make sure we have that presence here.
Now, Hal actually had a year-end interview with the mayor himself, Blaine, and they discussed part that, at least what Blaine Higgins said, is that there's going to be some increased funding into the service here. Does this mean new recruitment? And if it's so, does that also mean You mentioned more officers placed in downtown. Is that movement of officers, or does that mean more recruitment into downtown as well, or just the general service?
So when the city gave us when we went for our budget presentation and the additional resources and budget that they gave us to hire those resources, we had actually segmented it from year by year, adding resources into the organization. So 2025 is going to bring 5 new officers that is going to increase our funded positions from 183 to 188. And tomorrow we have a graduation. We're going to graduating 13 new officers who would be starting their field training in a few days. And our January class is already, we have 8 new officers that have been hired, and they'll start their training in January with completion day sometime in May, June. And then we are already recruiting for September class. So recruiting hasn't stopped. We continue to be very aggressive in our recruiting, because as we hire people, we also have people getting into retirement and leaving the organization through natural attrition. So our recruiting drive for this year, for 2025, is going to continue with the 2 classes, and we could even advertise an experienced officer class. So we'll continue with that, because the city, again, the current elected officials that we have in the city, they were very critical in giving us the resources that we badly needed, because this department had gone through significant zero growth over many years of adding anything to our budget. Meanwhile, the city was growing, and the complexities of policing was also increasing. But this council, obviously, they gave us the money that was taken away from us when I first got here. And in addition to that, they added our budget so we can hire more people. At the end, and those resources are going to be spread into critical areas, mostly on the front line, but also augmenting other units in the organization, more people on traffic, downtown policing, more investigators for sex crime. We are going to be looking at a model for a cybercrime investigator, how we can make that model work to kind of keep up with the trends of what's going on in the community, and also make sure we can serve the citizens better.
Are we seeing general crime in our city increasing or decreasing, or if not, is there different types of crimes that stood out over the last year?
So in 2024, and the statistics are going to be released into the new year, because we're always a few months behind for the true stats. And we always like to share true stats with the public, because that's the best way to share that. So, but based on what we've seen so far until the end of July, that we have the true stats, we've seen significant decrease in crime and CSI in the city. And we can only see that the trend has continued. But again, once we share that, we can actually give the true numbers. But crime has decreased, and our CSI has decreased in 2024. And one positive thing that I saw with the last survey that we did, we actually had I believe 5 or 6% increase in perception of safety with our citizens, because that's the critical piece. We can drop all the crime in the city, but if citizens don't feel safe, that's really not good. So we are seeing not only reduction in crime, but at the same time increase in sense of safety with our citizens, which is exactly the trends that we are looking forward, and will continue. We are hoping that trend continues in 2025.
You guys had the announcement that you guys are bringing in 42 new photo radar stations in like playground zones and streets around the city, now that municipalities can do that. So I guess my question is just, the question to you is, what's the reasoning behind it? And I guess the other photo radars that the province has taken away, do you think that's going to hurt maybe funding coming into the service, or what's your thought process behind it?
So to start off with that, we never look at photo radar or traffic enforcement as revenue. It's all about road safety, and it's always been that way. And but again, as the recent announcement that some there was more restrictions on use of photo radar, especially like some of the high traffic and high speed intersections that we had speed cameras, but now those are going to be taken away, which really increases the safety risk at those intersections, because at least we had some way to promote safer traffic enforcement in that area without use of officers. But the new legislation brought a change that we can actually have photo radars in school zones and playground areas, and we can add more, because just for sake of a place being designated a playground area, we can add photo radar to that without having to go through the process. So we've taken that opportunity to increase the sites that we will deploy photo radar, and we are hoping that's going to increase the safety, at least for the kids playing, and for when the schools are in session, for the students to bring better, safer roads in those areas. Just to say that I believe 2024 has been one of the most productive years since I've been here, and a lot of moving pieces are coming together from, again, our crime reduction strategy, the mood in the building, and our employees' wellness, and how they're actually working much better as a team. The leadership that's in this building, that's really contributing to that. But again, hard work of every employee, regardless of what their status is or what their position is really coming together. And that has translated in a safer community, which we will see down the road. But my biggest thank has to go to our citizens, really. We are public servants, we are true servants of the public, and their trust means a lot to us, and we've seen the support and trust over the year, and I really want to highlight that and thank every citizen in this community, and also wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and best of 2025 as we work together to build even a safer community.